G'day and welcome to another video with Better Pics. Hope this finds you well. Today we're going to look at a couple of different ways of adjusting audio within Premiere Pro. And we're going to look at not only sound that was captured in camera, but also if you wanted to place music as part of your video as well. So the clips that I've got on a timeline at the moment are just some videos that I shot in some natural areas. This one's in Currumbin on the Gold Coast in Queensland, which is near where I live. And this one's up in a rainforest in Springbrook National Park, just to give a little bit different sound. Looking at a couple of creek systems, walking path, and a waterfall on a well-known walk called Natural Arch. So the main reason I wanted to create this video was to look at adjusting volumes within video. First, we're just going to play a little section of each of these clips just to have a look at the volume, because they do differ depending on the clip itself. So you can see that sitting around negative 21 to 24 decibels there. This one's a little bit higher. You can see it's up around that negative 9 to negative 12. This one's around the negative 12, negative 15, depending on which section you look at there. You can see it's a bit of variety there. Obviously, different sounds of a rainforest are going to have a different effect on the volume of sound. And you can see with this waterfall that the volume is quite high. So it's up around negative 6. And we can attribute that to the fact that there's a fair amount of volume of water falling within this cave, and the sound's really being directed directly towards the exit of the cave, which was where I'm standing. Alright, I've also got a music track here which you can see I've got up in the music bin. And if we just drop that down and pop that on the timeline and hit play, it's a bit of an atmospheric sound, which is really for these types of clips what I wanted to go for, just as a sample. Sounds very relaxing, doesn't it? Yeah. Alright, so let's firstly have a look at the clips. What I'm going to do firstly is I'm actually just going to select all the clips. I'm going to right click and I'm going to unlink. So what that means is that the video files and the audio files become two separate entities rather than linked assets within the project. The reason that I do that is I just want to focus on the audio. So by separating it, we're not looking at all of the video detail as well. When we're looking at our effects controls, this is the first tool that we're going to use, or the first tab that we're going to use for adjustment of that audio. Now, if you can't see effects controls, just head up to Window and make sure that effects controls or Shift 5 is selected. Alright, let's have a look at the volume. So you can see that volume is quite low. It's around negative 21 to 24. Generally for videos I try to have my volume sitting around, my overall volume, around negative 9 to negative 12. Now it's okay sometimes if the volume of a particular video's audio is low, because that may represent what you want it to do. The important thing with editing is that you start to take control, obviously, of what those volumes are doing. So what I'm actually going to do, first what I'm going to do is turn off this little tab here so that it's not highlighted in blue. And it comes up with a warning. This action will delete any existing keyframes. Do you want to continue? And yes, I do. Basically what that means is that when I adjust the volume either down or up, it's going to adjust the entire volume, not just that one particular section. Alright, so what I'm going to do is just drop that volume down a little bit, and let's have a look. So it's sitting around negative 24 to 27, that's great. I'm just going to drop it down a little bit more. So around negative 27 to negative 30, that's great. Alright, let's have a look at this one, much higher. Going to turn that level off again, and we're going to drop it down even further because I want to get the volumes about the same. What you can also do is just click on this little right hand arrow and you're given a sliding scale to control the volume, which can be really handy as well. There we go. I'm just going to go down a little bit further. There we go. That's about the same now if we go back to that original clip. Negative 30, yep, that's great. touch more. There we go. That's great. All right, moving on to the next one. Again, we're going to toggle off that option for the keyframes. And we're just going to drop that down. We can actually leave it playing so that we can review the volume while it's playing in real time. There we go. That's good. Excellent. And this next one, turn off that toggle. And we're going to drop that down. This one's quite loud, so there we go. So all of those volumes are roughly the same now. Excellent. That's good. Yep, that's all good. That's great. All right. So basically that shows how to adjust the volume of a particular clip. Now, if you wanted to increase the volume, obviously it's just a case of going into the positive, and we can go anywhere up to plus 15 decibels. So at the moment we were sitting, I think, around negative 21 from memory. Let's have a look. Yep, that's about right. That's great. As volume on its own, where I've set it is quite low, but I've set it that low to allow for the fact that I'm going to introduce this music. Now, if you wanted to have just the realistic sounds of nature, obviously relative to these clips, then you would adjust to suit where you're getting up around that -9 to -12, up around that -9 to -12, depending on how obvious you want those sounds to be. Yep, that's perfect. So for this video, because I'm introducing music, I want to have that volume a little bit lower. And we're just going to reduce it a little bit more so that it's down around that -30. There we go. That's a nice balance. Obviously, it's going a little bit above and a little bit below, based on the natural sounds that you would find in a rainforest. But that's around where I want it to be as an initial edit, introducing this music. Now, obviously, I can make changes as we go along, and continue to refine that volume output. Let's just have a look at this music clip. We're going to go to central part of the clip where it looks like the volume is at its highest. Again, we're going to unclick that level because we want to adjust the volume equally across the file or the asset. And I'm just going to reduce that a little bit down to around -9 to -12. So let's just go -5. There we go. That's perfect. All right. Now let's bring this clip in. Actually, let's bring our video clips across. And we're just going to play, just not really putting them in any specific position at this stage, but just want to play the video clips with the sound across the top of the music just to see how it sounds. It sounds pretty good. Let's have a listen to the rainforest section. It's pretty good. Now, what I'm thinking is I might actually reduce the volume of the video clip or the audio that was captured in camera a little bit, just so that that music becomes a little bit more obvious. Now, what you can do, even though we've placed the video clips with the audio across the top of the music, we can actually just listen to the audio that's in camera, which is currently sitting on audio channel 1. If we click solo track, that means we're only going to hear the sound that's placed, or the audio files that's placed on track 1 or audio 1. Exactly the same as if we turn that off and we solo the music, we're only going to hear the music. That's a handy little tool if you just want to listen to specific tracks of sound while you're doing your edits. You can also have all tracks engaged and mute only one by clicking on these little M's that are just next to the S's. And that means, in this case, we've muted the music and we're just hearing the sound that was recorded in camera. There we go. So we're just going to solo the track or the channel that the in-camera audio is, and we're just going to reduce those volumes just a little bit more, down to about -36. There we go. We're going to do the same for this one. Excellent. And on to the next one. There we go. Alright, now we're going to leave that waterfall a little bit louder because it would naturally be a little bit louder. So we're setting it around -33 to -36. It's only a touch louder, but it's enough. There we go. We're going to turn off that solo. We're going to have another listen. Now that to me sounds much better. I think that works much better. Now you can hear the music a little bit more prominently, but the natural sounds that were captured in camera are just there in the background to help give a little bit more of a feeling of what it would be like to have been in these environments. It's not overbearing, but it's certainly letting us appreciate the natural sounds mixed in with the music. And you can see for each of those soundtracks, -14.1 for the first one, -23, -22, -27, and -5. For each of those soundtracks, we've adjusted it by different amounts. But the result is that you have really well balanced sound, and it works within the context of the clips, but also the effectiveness of the music. Excellent. All right, that's a really good outcome. Hope you've enjoyed this video, and I hope these tips with working with sound within Premiere Pro have been helpful. As always, any questions are welcome, and look forward to seeing you next time. Take care.